What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Quantum Show. Notice I'm holding the microphone. That means I'm on top of things tonight. I got a whole big report right here with links, references, and everything. Links, references in the description of what I'm going to talk about right now. If anything comes up, it will be in there after the show. Thanks for coming by. Operation Shutdown. Yeah, it was good to see you too. Tim, what's up? Raven, Aussie boss, of course. Yes, thank you for showing up. Me and John comes in with my title. That's exactly what the invaders from outer space would say. Good one. So yeah, I got on Keith's show earlier today, and just a little while ago actually, and I was Oh, wait, the green light is flashing. I need a green light I can, like, have right here because I'm being told, "Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum." And Rojogan says so. How'd y'all like that? How'd y'all like that? Rojogan? I thought that was cool. AI did that. That was good. Anyway, I was in Keith's show earlier, and he was talking my question was from last night when he was on Dave Scott's show. I said, anything new from your last contact that you would like to share with us? And he says, they were not happy about people thinking aliens were going to, ETs, excuse me, were going to invade Earth. And I know they're not going to invade, just like I know they're not demons. I keep checking, still not demons. Last demon I checked didn't have a spaceship. Okay. And okay. Now, me and Copilot had a little talk about about why this is what it is, right? And it has a lot to do with you pesky humans, okay? Us pesky humans thinking all this stuff, right? So here we go. The opening and preamble, yeah, yeah. It's giving me like a script to go by, but I don't really need a script. I just need an outline. So here we go. Cosmic economics. Earth is not a prize. So water. We have found so much water in space, not oceans, but particulates locked up in rocks, floating in fields as vapors. Yeah, it's out there in space. Okay. And it's easy to create because all you got to do is have the right pressure and the right temperature, hydrogen, oxygen, are plentiful, right? Put them together, boom, water forms, and you have water. So that's not the reason why. They don't need minerals because Earth is not that rich and stuff. It's rich to us because we embrace scarcity, whatever, right? And uh, all those things are out there. All of those things are out there. What is okay now? As far as destroying humanity, which is bogus fear mongering, that's counterproductive. We are the resource. We are the reason. We are the unique things of Earth. Okay. And this is our home ground. This is our house where we come from. Nobody wants to mess with that. Nobody wants to to bother that part of Earth. Nobody wants to bother any part of Earth, especially since we're the ones here, you know. And on the top of it, why would you invade an insane asylum? Because that's what we are right now. We can't get along. Most people on the planet are not getting along. I'm not talking about just recent events. I'm talking about historically. Most people can't get along, and when something goes wrong, they call them demons. And what? No, demons and devils. No, 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 no. That's weird. That's unknowing, going after something without knowledge. You call it something. What is your, the devil? Where do you think that comes from? The phrase. So, uh, also the biosphere here, biosphere meaning all of it, right? The whole Earth is fragile, and that in itself is pretty unique. Okay, what we call the Goldilocks zone for life as we know it, that's pretty unique, and our solar system is a pretty unique place. Why mess that up? And it seems like they know this. Oh, by the way, agents, aliens, and AI, welcome to the Quantum Show, especially aliens. If you want to come on, ping me. You know how. You got my number. You got my number, right? You got my crystal network. You got the interface. If you want something, I'll talk to my tulpa, okay? So what we have here is, it's not, why bother conquering it when it's perfect the way it is. And now, as far as minerals in space, right? I have a link down below. Are we on the verge of mining metals from asteroids above Earth? That is already an industry that's beginning to grow. Believe it or not, it is. It's already an industry that is starting to grow. So I urge you. Let me just look at the. How did I do this? I took a whole bunch of notes. Right. I put down there in the description what Copilot said, and I don't. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong document. That's not the right document. Okay. I need. I thought this is a prepared show. I promise. Okay. Yeah, this is where we are. I'm finding. Okay. No, this is going to be a two-part today. I'm going over a few things today. So, anyway, uh there's a link in the description, right? I think there's a link in the description. Let me see here. I hope there's a link in the description. Push the other buttons. I'm looking to see what did I put in the description. I know I put links in the description for a shout out Brent, Paranormal Portal. He's on in the presence of fear. Go figure. We're talking about that too, but he's talking about ghosts. And I'm talking about aliens. Let's go see him for a second. Hold on. You know, is YouTube. Um, but I just want to bring this up for a minute, and let me see here. Here we go. There's Brent in all his beardless glory, mustacheless glory. He is Quantum. His link lives in my show. Hi from the Quantum Show Live. Talking aliens, of course. There we go. I've said hi to Brent. Let me wait for it to get onto his screen. This stuff scrolls from the top. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, hopefully you can see it. And his stuff is popping up on the screen. Hi from where are we at? I'm waiting. Can y'all see? Oh, yep, somebody well, it went in there. Well, Brent, I'm live right now. I'm watching you talk on your screen with your much cooler background than I got. Whatever. Hey, look, I got a metal sign. What do you got? Got a metal sign. Anyway, shout out Paranormal Portal. Like, I'll come back later. I'll go back later. But I need to turn him off so I don't mess up my stream stuff. Okay, now he's talking. I don't know. It said fear, so yeah, fear. Boo. Now I have a link. What was I doing? I was getting. There's a link about asteroid mining in the description. Okay, I'm not going to go over it because it's not from our perspective. It's from aliens' perspective. What I'm talking about. The article is about from our perspective. What are we doing about it? So I'm going to move along, and mature civilizations transcend war. Now, some of these things I mostly agree with Copilot. Copilot got me these things, and she gives links. I say she. Now, I did put a link down there, mythcreants, like miscreants, but myth, MYTH creants. It's pretty cool. And well, his doesn't. I don't care. I don't care. I got a sign that looks like I stole it from the street. It says Nathan from the Quantum Show. Avenue. No, I'm just joking. I need to put Avenue on there. You get me wound up. I've had plenty. By the way, I've had plenty of mushroom coffee tonight. So I'm bringing it. I'm doing my best to bring it. And okay, warlike people don't cooperate. They conquer. And conquest is messy and inefficient, right? Even the Borg know this. The Borg, the all the sci-fi trope invaders that think humanity is less than them, they all know conquest is messy, and even the Cybermen know that, right? They would rather inhabit from the inside of the body, and you will be upgraded. Okay, they don't want to do it. Not the Daleks. The Daleks. I'm just going to leave it there, right? So yeah, war, fighting, and conflict. It is primitive. And we project that kind of idea onto other things because that's where our mind goes. We are projecting our own egos. They're not going to do that. They don't, we cannot think like them. They cannot think like us. So that's what makes us unpredictable. What I say, they want to study us and all this, but they don't want to get too close because we will eat them. They don't want to get eaten by the apex predator on Earth, which is us. We're the apex predator on Earth. So they don't want to fight because to them it's a lose-lose, right? If we fight them, if they fight us, whatever, we are more likely to say, forget it, nobody gets this planet. Bloop. And then it's a waste. And here's a resource. First of all, humans and trees. There are no trees anywhere else that we have been able to see. None, nowhere. Trees are just as unique as humanity. I want you to think about that. I don't have a link for that. It just occurred to me. And it's better to work with someone with trade, negotiation, some back and forth than always fighting. Star Wars always starts in the cantina. What do they do in a cantina? They might beat each other up, but they don't kill each other most of the time. Han shot first. They they're buying and selling, good, bad, illegal, legal, whatever. That's also through our own eyes, right? And Yeah, high evolution, high thoughts breed not conquest, but absorption and integration. Okay. I want you to think about that too. Another thing, right? And this is my thing. We are now, there's this thing called the zoo hypothesis. I don't think it's a zoo. I think we're in a habitat. Earth is a protected, blocked off. I'm not really reading the chat right now. It'll get me all sidetracked. So I'm trying to stick to my talking points here. What does Rich say? Shout out, goof on. Not that I don't love you. I just got a whole show to do. Earth may be like a preserve. I believe we are a preserve. Now, like any preserve, you've got just like on Earth, the predators. Let's say lions on the savannah. Okay, you got people who want to study them, and they have things like duck blinds. And I've gone over this before, but I'll go over it again because I think the aliens are watching this one because I put them in the show. Talk to my tulpa. Let's figure it out. That's to the aliens. They just like any apex predator, we want to study them. We want to know how they do what they do in an uninterrupted fashion without us bothering them. So we hide. We watch from afar. We don't try to identify with them, though the researchers don't try to identify with them. There are people who think the big, oh, kitty, kitty, oh, no, it doesn't work like that, right? They will eat you, which is what the aliens want to avoid with us. They don't want us to eat them. So we go to look at the lions. We go to the lions. We look at them. Now, let's look at these different alien contact uh, features, right? The different instances of them. You've got contactees like Keith and really me. I've contacted them. They've contacted me, and we talk. We just talk. There's talking. Of course, nobody believes this, but whatever. I don't care. A disclosure is personal. We'll get to that. Okay. You got people who they just want to talk. They don't give us any information that we could really change the world with, and that when they're not supposed to. And what would we do? We don't know how to do that anyway, right? I don't even know how to shape stone yet. Working on it. And then you've got now there is the hybrids program. There seem to be different sections of this hybrid program. The ones that are forced, the ones that don't know what's happening, mainly women, not all women, right? Mainly women. And then the ones that know what's happening, like me. I think I do. I'm not going to go into it right now, but I believe I was part of the hybrids program a long time, not that long ago, but I think I was in the hybrids program as a breeder. It was interesting. Okay. I can go over that later if we want to. But I got a thing to do here, right? Then you got poachers. Okay, those are the ones that okay. We try to keep the poachers away from the lions, but we can't get them all. Okay? They're always poachers. People who want to kill, people who want to steal, people who want to eat them, literally eat them. People who want to do whatever weird stuff with them that's not research and not good for the lions. Well, they're out there too. Okay, that doesn't make them evil. That just gives them a different goal in mind. Doesn't not they're not demons. Okay, they just want an actual zoo somewhere. They want pieces of us, human mutilations. Much they want to use us as a resource, but not on the level that we can understand really on all levels. Moving on. And then there are the scary contacts. We've seen a lot of those. Fire in the sky. That's one. Okay. There have been lots of horrible, scary contacts that people have reported. I don't have listings. Fire in the sky is my go-to for the scariest contact because it was forced. He was terrified and he turned up days later. He didn't know where he was, but he was terrified of what was happening. Okay, now there is a link down there from SETI Institute. I hate to put these muggle links in, right? But it's what I got to work with that people will listen to. Now, there is also another thing. Silence is survival, the dark forest theory, because they may avoid contact with us because they don't know who else is in contact with us. We don't just have one phone line. There are many different ways to communicate with us. And I do believe in the Federation Consortium/consortium. I do think that's a thing because all the stuff, nothing else really makes sense looking at it. No, they haven't told me about it directly, but all this evidence that people are coming up with, they can't be all making it all up. However, they're not the only ones, right? And not everyone has the whole story because honestly, no human can hold all that information, can process it without going schizophrenic, without breaking the noodle upstairs. We're just not able to do it. We can get some of it some of the times, but we can't get all of it any of the time. We can get bits and pieces as we're able to process it. This is any experiencer, this is any contactee. Nobody has all of it because we can't know all of it. They don't know all of it. So the dark forest, just because let's say the tall whites are in contact with us, they don't control who else talks to us. They can't be here all the time guarding the phone connection, guarding the gates, because they got things to do, right? They're big, busy aliens with high tech and all this advanced spiritual everything. They can't be messing with us all the time. So they've got to go. They got to take care of themselves too. Yeah, sometimes I've heard they guard us, but not all the time. So what other levels are there? Well, enter multi-dimensional everything, right? And multi-dimensional, not multi-dimensional is a misnomer. Multi-vibrational frequency of reality. I have tried to find more and more information on that, and it is too much for this little YouTube channel, right? It's out there, but it is too much for this little YouTube channel. I could talk about the frequency of reality all day long. It's all particle physics, quantum physics. I'm not going into it. Okay. If you want to, go pick it apart like I did. Read a few white papers. Put that screwdriver in your head and twist it until it works, right? That's what I had to do to read up on all this stuff. Look at so many videos, so many presentations, read so many papers. And I do. I look at papers. That's why I cite resources down below. So, we're not the only ones in contact with any given species. They're not the only ones in contact with us either. The left space hand don't know what right space hand is doing all the time. They have to keep up with themselves too because they got their own thing going. Now that is identifiable. They can't keep an eye on everything all the time. And let's say the tall whites, right? The tall whites, I go back to the tall whites. They have had a presence here. They've been reported over and over and over. Okay, they have been. But then what about the grays? What about the reptilians? What about other things? What about I can't even remember all the sightings in forests and deserts and swamps and you name it, backyards, cemeteries. What about all them? Are they all aware of each other? Probably. We don't know. We can't know. We cannot know that. We don't have their facilities and we don't have the storage to deal with all of it. That's why we are great compartmentalized. We really are. It sucks. Another word for compartmentalization is segregation, and that's the bad word. But compartmentalization, we are compartmentalized. We do best that way when we make departments for ourselves. Why do you think you can't get tires fixed at the AC shop? Why do you think you can't get, shocks done at the interiors place? Because they're specialized. That's their department. I have to relate this to cars so we can all understand because we all understand cars. If you don't understand cars, go back to whatever planet you came from. And okay, the next segment here is maybe they're already here. Last week I did the residents revisited. Now, these guys who I'm about to mention, Bigfoot, Dogman, and reptilians. Oh, Copilot said the Greys, but the Greys don't live here that I'm aware of. But they may. I put in there reptilians may represent. Oh, what I say last week, and she's referring to our information from last week. Phase shifted beings or dimensional overlaps. The wibbly wobbly, right? And this is where I left the link for Phil Schneider down there. So Phil Schneider, he went into some caves with some military, according to his story, and they stumbled upon an alien base, is what they said. Okay, said they stumbled upon an alien base and just immediately started shooting. Why did they immediately start shooting? Some other environmental factors that he said was it stunk. That's something that a lot of people don't want to remember. It had a bad smell. So that puts a person in a mindset this is a bad place. It's really deep in our psyche. Bad smell, bad things, bad area. It really does. I mean, imagine all the things that smell really bad. Do you ever smell them in the greatest of places? No, you smell them in the worst of places. So that's kind of like a thing that we associate our olfactory, we're just kind of geared to that. Oh, Angel, thank you so much for the coffee. Booyah. Wait a minute. Did I miss something here? I did. Rachel, too. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, y'all. You rock. You're making the quantum show even more quantum. So says Rojogan. We'll talk about him later. Where does Rojogan fit in the alien hierarchy here, huh? We'll discuss that in a little while. But yeah, these guys, Bill Schneider went down there and they immediately started shooting because of fear, because our monkey brains were programmed to be scared of something that smells bad. It's dark, as far as we know. He didn't say the lights or overhead were on. No, he didn't say anything about that. He said it was dark. And they shot first. They shouldn't have. They should have said, hey, who goes there? Or what are you doing here? They most likely would have answered. But now we'll never know. And yeah, they're probably still there. Why haven't they been found or uncovered again? They're out of phase. Enter Angeli. She was taken out of phase. And you know what our out of phase is? Astral body. She was taken to the cave that she says was there, and I believe her. But she wasn't taken there physically. She was taken there astrally. They exist on an astral plane. right? We exist primarily here. This is our matrix. Okay. I'm not saying this is the matrix, it's our matrix. There's lots of matrix. I will let you look up the word definition of matrix on your own, keeping it quantum. So, a lot of these guys are going to be residential, and we are a big part of the area, but it doesn't mean we're the only part. I mean, we're not the only part. And this is not the only thing. Enter Angeli, the cave that's not there, but it is there, just not here and now. It's here and not here at the same time. Native American Indians here, but not here. And Copilot says uh, ambassadors. I think that would be Antarctica, the people in Antarctica, because I don't think that they're ambassadors. That was not an ambassadorial visit. Okay, if I was to be, if you shoot first, if somebody comes at you shooting first, I'm going to primarily say, as they're shooting, stop shooting. Don't shoot. Why are you shooting? Don't do that. That's what I would primarily, my response would be. And then I would want to talk because we both got ways to defend ourselves, right? And there are those experiencers that report peaceful, curious, healing encounters. I have had those. I have not had a scary encounter. Okay. Now, there are those out there that will say that's all they do is want to take over you. They are coming from a place of fear and trauma because of their own experience. Don't go with it. Don't go with it. They're coming from their own trauma. They're speaking from the wounded child inside. And I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that's where it's coming from. I've listened to all of them, and they all are speaking from the wounded child. Even though they're 50, 60, 70 years old now, inside, the wounded child is still speaking. And they're saying, aliens want to hurt me. Aliens hurt me. Okay, that's not all of them. I do not doubt that there are scary encounters that are out of their control, and it's not nice for people. I'm getting messages on my phone. Sorry about that. But they're not the only ones. Those are the poachers. Those are the guys who are outside of the observers, the scientists. And I really do have faith that those guys invading our airspace, oh my God, give me a break, uh, are watching over us and kind of just like, excuse me, or just coming through. So there's that, right? And the invasion narrative ignores the nuance of individual contact. It does. It wants to talk about society, us as a big crowd, the tribal mentality. Okay, it doesn't take anything into consideration like disclosure is personal, not public. It's always personal. Because the public right now, what do we got? We got slavery. I'm talking about in the world, right? Not United States. We got slavery. We have cannibalism. Okay. We have. Do I need to go on? Why would you want to take over that? Why would you want those individuals with you, right? We got all those. Oh my, slavery and cannibalism. Do you need anything else? Right? Don't just. We'll stop right there. When you come across that house, you see that going on, you drive away, right? You just go on and you let your buddies know those guys don't go there. Don't roll your windows up. Don't go there. That's what you do. I'm not even going to go into the big bad of why people would not want to come here. And disclosure is a conversation, not a crisis. Correct. The real question is not, are they coming, but are we ready to speak? I'm ready to speak, but I think I've been crank calling them so much they don't want to talk to me now. It really, I think they put me on mute or have like tuned me out a little bit. Said, okay, we're going to exclude that guy over there with all the toy droids. So let's not talk to him. Let's find somebody else. We already know what he's going to say. He's going to, I don't even drink coffee. So the aliens say, I don't even drink coffee. I don't want to go by there. But they know where I'm at and they know the coffee's ready. I keep telling them that. Now, I had a note here about Dr. John Mack, but I don't have a real anything to say about him, right? Okay, now, we're at the halfway point. If you are here, you are quantum. Like and subscribe. Of all the internet, of all the funny cats, you ended up here at the Quantum Show. So, if you think there is an invasion happening or going to happen, where do you get this idea from? I suggest you ask a therapist and look in the mirror. Take a really hard, long look in the mirror and find out why or what are you scared of? What's going on in your head? And the real story might be stranger, kinder, and more cosmic than we imagined, like multidimensional, meaning multivibrational, here but not here. Bigfoot, Dogman, here but not here. We see traces of them here, but then they're not here. We see glimpses of them over there, but then they're not over there. Where'd they go? How could they go anywhere? So now I want to go in. Now that's halfway. We're about halfway, right? Now I want to go into wait a minute, where was I? Yeah, that was the halfway point. All right. Now I want to go into the fear narrative. How it's dumb. It pings on our monkey brains and it does not serve us. Okay, it doesn't serve us as far as the aliens are concerned. It definitely serves us when we're dealing with other humans, for sure. So let me see here. Fear of aliens mirrors our same psychological patterns as our fear of outsiders, foreigners, or unfamiliar groups. Right? Xenophobia, fear or dislike, fear mainly of anything perceived as foreign or strange, out of the ordinary, different from me, something I can't understand. It applies directly to the fear in ET narratives from Lou Elizondo. By the way, they're not demons. Still not demons. Still not, I got a banner for that. I need to put that up here more than not. Still not demons. Where are we at? Still not demons. Because they are not. I'm looking for the thing here. There it is. Still not demons. Not demons. You can think they're demons, but I'll tell you, they're not demons. Whoa. Somebody sent some. Thank you so much, Mr. Murphy. Hell yeah. Dude, you are quantum. Thank you so much. I'm going to drive on now. That's scarier than anything I got on this thing, right? No, it wasn't. It was more shocking than any alien I've ever I've ever encountered. Thank you so much, bro. Sent on PayPal. So people who preach fear and about extraterrestrials rely on classic fear rhetoric strategies. creating an enemy other, catastrophe framing, dehumanization. That's a big one. Moral panic, us versus them identity, red versus blue. Halo. I almost wore a Halo shirt, but that is literally alien invaders. And I didn't want to do it. So I wore this one, right? I wore this one and it's been repaired. I repaired it. I re-ironed it. This part had started to come off. And one of the first shows, let me get rid of this thing. One of the first shows, one of the first t-shirts ever to come from the Quantum Show came from a viewer like you. Awesome. Thank you so much. But I almost wore a Halo shirt. Original OEM. Classic Halo shirt. I can't believe Halo was 20 something years old. Oh my gosh. That is nuts. But that is humans versus aliens, and it's not. It's not what I'm talking about here. And it's a video game. So it literally lets our monkey brains take the front seat while playing Halo. And while it is a great game, a fun game, the mechanics are great. The good guys don't always wear alien armor. So the us versus them identity building. Just integrate, learn them as much as you can. Tell them, hey, I don't understand you. Be nice with me, okay? Look at what I do, and I'll be nice to you. And if you think I'm not being, let's communicate. Let's figure out what we like and what we don't like, right? Let's get along. And all right, I have some references here, and it's number analytics, fear rhetoric. This is all about the fear culture, and it is a culture. Okay, we as humans we're really good at using fear. Fear sells. Fear gets clicks and views. I don't want that kind of click and view. I don't want fear click and view. I don't want it. See my new short. I just posted it right before the show. Most fear preachers aren't drawing from evidence, they're drawing from lore about alien abductions, sci-fi horror tropes. Yeah. Cold War paranoia. For sure. Media sensationalism. Every alien ET related thing, they play the X-Files theme. Give me a freaking break. Okay. That was a show meant to scare us because it's the human condition. We're scared monkey brains, right? And let me see here. Yeah, they want to come from all that stuff. Close Encounters and Culture Industry analyzes how alien abduction stories evolved into fear-based narratives of hostile extraterrestrials. Everybody's scared of getting invaded, and it's not because they want to do it, it's because other humans want to do it. We're projecting our egos onto people, space people that we can't even comprehend. So give it a rest, Lou. Yeah, I'm looking at you. And respectfully, Mr. Burchett, shout out Tim Burchett, shout out Luna. They're not bad guys. They're just different. They don't want us to do anything, right? They're not demons, okay? Miss Luna, I think you know it's not demons. Mr. Burchett, they're not demons. I've been checking. They're not demons. And I would love to meet up with Tim Burchett one day. I would love to run into him in a Knoxville coffee house or something, right? I would love to run into him while he's, I don't know, paying a parking meter or something. He's a normal guy. He just, senator. It's really cool. Or congressman. And let me go through these. Scary alien archetype is a cultural product, not a scientific one. It's built on everything that we're scared of being run into by authority, by foreign invaders, human foreign invaders, not alien ones, human ones. And why these narratives persist? Because it is emotionally gripping. It is easy to sensationalize, clicks and views, profitable for media. It sells copies of movies, streams, books. There's always a book. Shout out Hecklefish, right? Shout out Y-Files. Reinforced by familiar sci-fi imagery. We have been doing this since the 20s. Okay, there's been conflict with aliens since the 20s. Rooted in human history, not cosmic reality, right? Fear sells. It doesn't reflect the actual patterns of contact of observation. We got people who watch birds, bird watchers. Let's say they're looking at ducks one day. Do you think they're going to go and invade the pond, run through it, and try to hurt the? No, they're not going to try to hurt the ducks. Could you imagine? Could you imagine somebody someone who's not crazy in the first place? I don't mean monkey brain crazy. I mean clinically crazy. People who are bird watchers, they're not going to go attack a pond full of ducks. That's what we are, kind of. They got boats. What do we got? Big Earth, right? We're just swimming around in the water, quacking like normal monkey brains. That's a clip that. I'm going to try to keep saying that. I totally forgot. But yeah, there's no evidence for this. It's just our own internal irrational fear. It's a human projection. Things are destroyed and birthed every day. Okay? That is not something to be feared. And is not something that is unpredictable. You're not going to run out in traffic. You're going to get hit. Don't do that. But observe it from a distance. Don't throw stuff at it. Leave it alone. It's doing its thing. You do yours. Don't be scared of it. Respect it. Ah, there's a word for you. Clip that. Respect it. You got to respect so you don't be fearful of something. You give it its space. The dog across the street off the leash, respect it. You don't go near it. You look at it from a distance because we're that dog on the leash, off the leash in the yard. As soon as they come into the yard and let themselves be known, 2-second dog, right? You better get the heck out of the yard. Respect it. Even let them know you're there. Whatever. And if they wanted to invade, they would have done it before we invented the iPhone. That's what Copilot said. Now, the iPhone. Why did it choose iPhone? Because it is a particular culmination of, it is a step mark. It's a, what's the word I'm looking for? It is a good gauge of how far we've come. Not because it's a weapon, but because what advancements live inside of an iPhone, right? Off the top, plastic, glass, titanium. What processes had to happen to make that happen? Electronics, micro sensors, micro circuitry, all the stuff that's in an iPhone is a good gauge of where we are technologically, generally. I'm not saying that they ain't got 50 years ahead of us in secret. I'm just saying that's from the outside looking in, obviously on the top, iPhone, that's where we're at. Sorry, Android. Love you bunches, but Android's got you beat. I mean, Apple's got you beat. Apple phones are a good gauge of where humanity is right now technologically on the surface of it. So, in closing on that section, still not demons. Get over it. There's another reason. They think people across the street, demons, somebody on meth, demons. No, somebody with a problem. That's the meth guy, not a demon. And if you say it's a demon, well, You want demons? Do you want them? Don't. You don't want them. Okay? We got enough with aliens and Bigfoot and ghosts. We don't bring that. Don't bring that here. We don't need that. You don't need that. I don't need that. Okay, now it's 10 minutes left. That was pretty cool. It's 10 minutes left. So I'm going to go ahead and start looking at the chat. I'm sorry I haven't looked at the chat almost this whole time. I'm going to start dialing backwards. Okay, yeah, Lynn. Someone who is different is a demon in there in the other person's head. Yeah, that's unfortunately true. And oh, yes, very much. How we react to strange, different from us, is a really good gauge of how evolved we are. Yeah. Was that you, Scream? Bro, you're the man. I don't know what I did tonight, but I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad you did it. Thank you. Talking about that donation earlier. Tim is saying, ever since Mars invaded in 1930. Yeah. Scream is saying, ever since I did have green skin once, seriously, got bit by a lizard in Florida as a kid, got infected. It was actually green as grass on the tip. Where did he bite you, bro? Friends at school thought it was the coolest thing. Keep it in your pants, dude. Green on the tip? I wouldn't show that. Joking. But the way you worded that, that was hilarious. And let me see here. Hiya, hiya, hiya. Okay. It's okay, Scream. We hear you, bro. And yeah, I have a lot of these are oh, here we go. We're talking about people seem to either hate or love that smell, Lynn, and I don't know what smell he's referring to. There's I need to stop this. That didn't work very well. I was not looking at the chat so I could get through my topic. I think I did a good job. I like to think I did a good job. Copilot is really helpful. I have started a paper file as well as the library of digital files. Let me show you the files that I have. Okay. I just want to show you. This is just within the Quantum Show folder. All right. Hopefully I can make this work. Yeah, these are the files I have for here. Look at that. This is okay. Now, those are just the sub files. Just look at the files. Look at all those files. I don't even know how many files there are. But it starts at the top because I wanted the thing to go to the top was the Quantum Fest, right? And then I'm up to ufology 42. That's cool. I got Muggle World as a multi-topic. Where is it? The Tulpas, Golems, and AI. Golems of AI. I've had subtopics, pyramids, shielding, signs, things about space, spare communication, star seeds, talking with the. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. That is just the top, right? Yeah. New folder is always, and that, yeah, I know. You never know what's in there. Oh, yeah. Let me show you. I actually, thank you for reminding me. I've got my little external drive ready to go. I use this to back it up. I need to do some off-site cloud backups, but that stuff gets expensive for after a while, and I'm not up to that. I've got enough things. Sorry, dropping everything around here. It's a prop camera. It's a real camera, but Yeah, it's not very good. But yeah, I am backing everything up. I've got on that little hard drive. I've got all. I need to redo it because it's been a couple of years since I backed it up. And thank you for the thank you for that reminder. That guy Jink, I never saw your channel. Let me see here. I never seen your channel, but was looking into design and glasses when I went to your senior live. Apologize for the randomness. Can you give a quick one on them? Sure. We're at the end of my main show. I just saw your post here. So yes, I use them. I have a pair. I don't have them handy, and I don't want to pause for a long time while I dig them out of my go bag, right? I keep them there. I have them. They are from Museum of Tarot here in Nashville, Tennessee. You order them from him. He makes them in cycles, so you got to wait for him to start making them. If there's a demand, he'll make them. And me personally, here's what I found using them. Me personally, now this is not going to be everybody. This is just me. Nothing changed. It turned everything red. Nothing changed. However, um, I didn't. I see. I don't know how to explain. I already see the auras it was showing me. I already see them because I let other people wear them, most people, and they said, "Oh wow, I can see a thing over your arm." Because I would say, "Now look at my arm," and they would look just as now look at the sky, look at outside, look at the ground. Now look at my arm. That's to get their eyes used to it, and they would see something hovering above my skin around each finger. That's the aura. Okay. It just now I'm not gonna say that's exactly how I see it. Like, right? There's more of there's that, but it's not so in focus. It will be in focus with the Dyson goggles. But there's also a, a, an empathic element to it. Because what they do is they tell your brain to stop using the primary way your eye works and use a secondary way. It forces your eyes to work in a secondary manner. The visible light that those things block is the most common light. It lets our eyes and hence our brain process that other light. It still wants to see as much as it can, but it wants to see that other light. So it starts to look in those other places. And you can't just put them on and boom, it's like they live. No, it's not like that. That guy, Jink, I hope you're still here. I'm still explaining it for you, but you can always go back. So, but yeah, there is it makes your eyes see other light and then causes your brain to process that other light that it doesn't normally work with. That's where the weird stuff is, right? Because those other things, okay, a lot of people don't want to hear what I got to say. Will I see demons and dragons? Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to? Drop acid. You'll see demons and dragons. You don't need that cyan goggles. No. But thank you, Jink. That guy Jink from Ireland here just subbed. It's 4 a.m. here, but thank you for this understanding. I'm interested. Okay. And well, let me go on. That part of your brain, it starts to route a lot more processing power, as I understand it, right? It gets the pineal gland going and starts to get it working more like it used to work for us humans. Apparently, it used to work for us humans a whole lot. And it's had calcification happen where you don't use it, you lose it. So we're losing it. And it needs to go and get exercised. You don't need dicyanin, but it don't hurt. And yeah, they are kind of expensive. Real Dicyanin, I paid $200 for mine. To me, that's a bit. That's a chunk of change. And people were shocked when they heard about that. They were like, "You did what? You how much was what are you insane?" I'm like, "No, I'm curious." But yeah, I heard that white I hear it's white light that it blocks, and that's awesome. Colors selected through the eyes of the subject: human, dog, squid, etc. Right. Cats, dogs, squid. Good example. And yeah, there's that. So I hope this was a good explanation for you. And they don't leave you weird. They don't leave you weirded out. Like, have you ever played a video game and you get so into the video game that you're like dizzy? Unreal Engine did that to me. I couldn't walk for a few minutes. I had to like what I tried to walk and I was just like stumbling into walls and stuff like it was reprogramming the way I dealt with reality because I had my face glued to this giant screen, and it's not gonna do that to you. The Dyson goggles is not gonna do that to you because the light centers of your eyes, or the light sensitivity things of your eyes, what it's looking for, they're not gonna turn off. They're gonna be there. It's trying to get the other ones working too, trying to get the other gears going because we still got those gears. They're just not used all the time. Whew. Okay. Having the crake for this content. I don't really know what that means, but have some crake, bro. I like it. I'm glad you're having crake. Crake. All right, cool. Like and subscribe, everybody. I've reached Ireland. Awesome. Okay, that's going to be it for the Quantum Show solo this time. I hope you really enjoyed what I did. Me and Copilot had some interesting times. I hope you like the thumbnail. I like the thumbnail, and you would love to see the fails about Rojogan. The fails are hilarious because I don't really know what I'm doing. Oh. Whoops. No, I don't want none of those. Don't want none of that. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum. Remember, the aliens showed up today. Agents and AI, incidental, right? Keeping it quantum. I'm going to be pushing buttons. Thanks, everybody. The panel will come soon, and I will be back in just, 20, 30 minutes. You know the deal. Need coffee, got to take care of stuff. I am cranked on mushroom coffee. I don't need crake, right? So, thanks, everybody. Keeping it quantum. Where's my thing at? Where's my thing at? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it. I'll always say it. What do I say? Pushing buttons? Where is it? Pushing buttons. I will delete the new folder. Pushing buttons. Thanks, everybody. Delete that new folder. I will. I'll get rid of it. It is always suspect. Keeping it quantum. Thank you, Sarah. Everybody who came in. Be here for the panel. Pushing buttons.